Ethereum has gotten to the point where I think price is going to get a lot easier to read. There are very few parameters left to deal with, and I'm going to break them down very simply so that you can be on your toes and have a good understanding of where your edge lies at any point, at any time this entire week. But make sure that you pay attention and have seen my Bitcoin video that I released today. Go ahead and click this link right there to watch that first, or you can wait till the end. I'll link it to you at the end. Let me show you what I'm seeing in the charts and why I think this is going to be a lot easier to play than what it has been on this sloppy tear to the upside. Let's go get some Ethereum. Let's point out what we're looking at here. This box down here is the first range that Ethereum broke out of. Bitcoin is still in this range. Bitcoin's not even close to being up here, which would be the equivalent of, this spike up would be equivalent of 30K almost on the dot. So Ethereum is way outperforming Bitcoin. It is among the hottest non-Bitcoin cryptos out there. There are not a whole lot that are hotter than Ethereum, and it's been a little bit difficult to play. But in general terms, you had a range, you broke out of it, entered another range, broke out of it, hit its head on some horizontal resistance, which has been a fairly obvious play so far, has fallen back into the range. But here's the key though. This entire time, if you can view it like this, see this red line here? No matter what, whenever price gets too far away from it, either to the downside or the upside, so in this case, downside, it wants to get closer to the red after it separates from it too much. It gets too far away from the red. What does it do? It zooms right back up. Or to the upside, it gets too far above. What does it do? It zooms right back down to touch it, or in this case, overshot it to touch the bottom of the range. Zoomed up, got too far above it. What did it do? It overshot it again, but it zoomed down to hit it. Got too far above, bounced on it perfectly. Got too far above, bounced on it perfectly. And that bounce allowed it, if you zoom in here, that's what essentially allowed it to then get the oomph to get over this new range, because it used this as support, proved itself, then used the top of the range as support, and then touch this. So this line is going to be what I might call your middle zone. So no matter what happens, just realize with Ethereum price, if it gets too far above it, it's going to want to come back and touch it. And if you see at any point Ethereum is too far above that line and it's getting ready to touch one of either this triangle I have up here or this blue line I have here or the top of this range, which it's already hit, at a moment where you think, hey, it's kind of far away from there, then it's probably going to hit its head on this, maybe this blue line, for example, just for example, right, the lines that I have, and it's going to come to at least touch this line and potentially overshoot it. So think of it as a rubber band effect. The red line is your base price. If you stretch the rubber band up, it's got to snap back to touch the red line. If you stretch it too far down, it's going to bounce on something that I'm going to show you down here as well during this video, and it's going to come back up to potentially use this as resistance, but it's likely at least going to touch it. All right, so let's dive in here, and as we do, make sure you follow me on Twitter at cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward. I post some bomb charts there, and my YouTube tiers allow you to watch my live chart and how price bounces off all these support and resistance levels on Bitcoin Monday through Friday, and I only allow it for the link to be activated for my YouTube tiers, in addition to 15 to 30 market updates a week provided to the Cryptillion YouTube tier, and my Discord community link, altcoin and trading community link in the description section. All right, let's dive into this biz. So what do we have here? We have price bouncing off this horizontal, and it's trying to use the top of the channel as support, which it's already proven as support. So what I see happening is you're getting a convergence here, essentially like a triangle that's forming, that price might stay in, similar to my 𝐾𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐸 analysis, which I drew a triangle, said it's probably going to stay in here for a bit, and it did, right? Well, I anticipate a very small triangle, and the timing on this, the time axis, let's see how long this is. I mean, it could be 2 days. So Ethereum price could easily go sideways for 1 to 2 days here. And what it's going to be doing is it's going to allow double support to potentially form. Support from the top of this range and the support through this. So it has the oomph to get above here and then go up to the next area. And there's a liquidity. I don't have the liquidity bubbles here mapped. I don't use that BlockFi or whatever. But if you went on BlockFi, those people who do, I bet you that there is some big stuff hanging around in this exact zone. So I see liquidity in different ways. I don't see it as bubbles. I see it essentially where people are going to be hiding stops or entering a lot of stuff, and this is where it's going to happen. So if price gets in this triangle and can get above 2008, and you have seen it touch this red line at any point, even if the red line doesn't quite get up to this orange line. So so this is the daily 10. Even if the daily 10 hasn't gotten up here, but you see price has gone down to touch it first, and then price is going above 2008 again. So this is your breakout level. It's going straight to this liquidity grab zone. That's exactly where it's going. How high? So this is a fairly big range, but it's still going within this area. I don't know where it would stop, but that's only 3%, so that's not very big. That's a pretty good target. And so that is how I would read the upside for this. But before upside, I feel that it needs to wait a day or two and essentially allow this daily 10 EMA to creep up to this, so it has double support, gets caught in this little triangle, and then potentially goes up. All right. But notice that the red line, it's a little slower than price. So if price zooms up, so let me make, so just imagine this yellow line's red. It's the extension of this daily 10. If price does this, zooms up, boom, 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 guess what? It's getting too far away from the daily 10. So it's going to bump its head and potentially form another little triangle until this catches up and potentially does it all over again. You see what I'm saying? So use these levels here, liquidity zone area and the 2008 breakout level, in conjunction to or with, I'm not good with prepositions, sorry, the daily 10 EMA. And for downside, okay, the same thing. You're going to use the daily 10 as your middle zone. If you break down below the daily 10, use it as resistance, well, what's going to happen? You're going to go touch this line down somewhere at 1723. And what's going to happen? Well, because this red line is slower, you get too far away from it, you're going to bounce and get potentially in some triangle. So this red line comes and potentially pushes you out, but you're at least going to come back up to touch it. You could price could break above it, but you're very, very, very likely going to bounce from 1723 area up to touch the daily 10 to prove it as resistance, and then and then the daily 10 is what if Ethereum price truly does break down. If you're a bear, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for the daily 10. This let me just, in the bearish case, like this. Let me make that red. This is what you're looking for. It's going to be the daily 10 that's going to push price out of this range, and you're focusing on the essentially 1720 to 1750 areas right here, and you're likely going to form a little triangle deal right about here if you see it act as resistance. Am I making sense? But it's going to be the daily 10 that pushes it out, save a very aggressive move down on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That could create Ethereum it could fly below here potentially and not bounce up. But if you don't see SPX doing anything that is crazy bearish, then Ethereum's going to bounce from here and then recheck the daily 10 and potentially use it as resistance. I would assume it would use it as resistance for a little bit and form a triangle before then it either breaks down or breaks back up. Now, the ultra bullish case, like the super bullish case, it really could happen. Ethereum is freaking on fire right now. Like I said earlier, you get this little triangle deal over here as the daily 10. Get that push up. Ethereum could go all the way up to not quite 25, just shy of 25, 2480. It's the origin line. I mean, there's not a lot stopping it. And that would be a horizontal with previous price action back here. So see how this aligns? It would race straight up to it, guys and gals. Look, it would, like that. This is your mega bullish target. And if you're an Ethereum holder and you see it at 2480, this is not financial advice, but if I were an Ethereum holder, I would sell into that because the chance of buying significantly lower, as in 10% or drastically more, to be able to get more Ethereum with what you sold into that, I sold into that rally, not financial advice. If you see it raise that level, that's going to be a darn good time to plan to buy back lower. If I were an Ethereum holder, I'm not speaking for you. I'm not speaking for you to take any action on that, but it's probably what would happen if that level is hit. So it is in the cards. It could happen. Ethereum is so hot right now, and it's all going to depend on once again, how SPX is behaving. So I think that SPX, per my Bitcoin video that you have watched already or will watch at the end of this video, because I'm going to link it to you. It's very important to watch that. I link essentially Bitcoin/crypto with SPX. SPX needs to pull back. And that is creating a limit to Bitcoin's upside movement. But as you can see, Ethereum already broke out of a channel that Bitcoin's stuck in. So that upside movement might not apply to Ethereum as strongly. So if you have seen that video, just realize if Bitcoin is floating down sideways, that doesn't necessarily mean Ethereum has to, because Ethereum is way outperforming Bitcoin. But if you see an aggressive move down on SPX down to its daily 89, goes below its daily 10, if SPX goes below its daily 10, that is going to pull Ethereum down. At that point, then you can kind of, stop thinking of 2480 or whatever level I gave you up there. But it's all about SPX daily 10. If SPX starts going below there, Ethereum is likely going to break down and at minimum touch both the bottom of this channel right behind this orange line, and it's going to hit this origin line down here somewhere again closer to 1720, maybe use it as support, and honestly that would be a pretty good bounce point, because by that time SPX would probably be hitting its daily 89. You could get a serious bounce from that level. So again, click this video right here if you haven't seen that Bitcoin and SPX traditional market video yet, and click this video right here if you want to learn how to set up a chart like mine to help you have a more profitable crypto journey. Don't be lazy. If you don't know how to set a chart, take 28 minutes, watch that video, follow along, and you just got Timified Worldwide. Peace.